I've been talking a bit about Loftia on my channel recently as I am super excited about the game. And today, I want to take some time to talk about more specific ideas I am excited for, and also things in general that I just hope to see in the game. To quickly summarize some ideas I've talked about, I'm just really excited to play through a new game. Exploring new worlds and interacting with a bunch of new stuff is always an enjoyable experience, especially since everybody playing will be playing through the game for the first time together. I'm also really excited to interact with all the social features in the game and to become a part of the world as a whole. But on the flip side, I'm also always interested in the features of a game that are specifically catered for individual play. I think the house scene in this game seems like a good combination of those two ideas. It is both social, but by yourself at the same time. The entire premise of the game being focused around floating islands is a really smart idea. Not only does it easily allow the addition of new locations, it makes the idea of having your personal floating island with your own house and stuff on it connected to other people's to form a floating neighborhood in the sky. I'm definitely excited to build up my own area, but then to be able to easily walk over to my fiance's house alongside any of my friends who happen to be playing the game. Housing in general is a really popular idea in gaming right now, and it seems like so many people are exploring different features related to housing. I love to try to get creative in games with building up cool areas and whatnot, even if I'm not the best at it as compared to other people. So when it comes to any opportunities available with decorating and whatnot in Loftia, I am excited to dive deep into those systems and honestly really push it to its limits to try to create the coolest house that I can come up with. Of course, the house that you build up is only one part of this world. One of my favorite things to do in video games is to just explore through the world and to participate in any activities that you can find within it. With Loftia having a world that you can walk around in, there's obviously going to be stuff that you can explore through alongside different things that you can do within the world. For me, one of the first things I am excited about doing in the game is to just walk around the world and see what is going on. I want to explore through anything that is available through the game and just try to hang out with people and participate in whatever activities we can. I don't think there have been too many details about how expansive the world is going to be, but I'm not expecting it to be super large, especially in early access. But from what I have seen thus far, there definitely seems to be a good amount of stuff, and they have talked a little bit about new areas they have already added since the start of development. Moving forwards towards the full launch of the game and after the launch of the game, I definitely hope that we will see more and more areas to explore with more and more stuff going on that we can engage with. New maps are one of my favorite parts of any major updates for any open world game, so they would be what I am looking forward to the most with any updates to Loftia. More so if we get a deeper variety in the types of maps that are available within the game, so that we can explore various biomes, structures, and every other aspect of a world. Throughout the world itself, I am super excited for some of the activities we have seen present throughout the different trailers. Having fun things out on the road to do is so incredibly important, because if there wasn't anything to do, there isn't really a purpose to engage with the world. With what we have seen, hopefully there is a good reason to engage with that content. I'm personally somebody who likes to do things just for the fun of doing things, but I recognize that I am in a massive minority of people where most people would want to have at least a little bit of a purpose to do anything. So hopefully there are rewards you can get through doing different activities around the world. I'm assuming the largest reward structure will be related to housing, but there are also lots of other opportunities in the form of crafting, fashion, getting items to build relationships, and a variety of other things. With Loftia being a social MMO, a lot of the content in the game is obviously going to be connected to the ideas of interacting with other people. One of the coolest things I've seen in the trailer is what looks like areas that you go to that features a variety of puzzles and platforming areas that you have to work with other people in order to complete. Loftia is a pretty cozy and casual game, and while we see dungeons in other MMOs where we see content like that in this game in the form of these areas known as adventures, and I genuinely cannot express how excited I am for these. I really hope we see a lot of these in the game, and I think we will, because, and honestly I've been freaking out a lot about this and it makes me so excited, is that there are plans for an adventures builder system that will allow players to create your own adventures. I love this so much. I remember being 12 years old and trying to create my own fantasy worlds and dungeons in games like Minecraft. I remember being a teenager and trying to build multiplayer maps in different FPS games, and to this day I still love world building, creating areas in games like Minecraft, and coming up with fun puzzles for players to navigate through, and having that officially supported in this game is so exciting. I'm excited to see what the community comes up with, and I am here to make you a promise. I want to dive deep into the system, come up with a bunch of stuff, and let people play through what I create. I'm so excited, and I honestly think out of everything, this might end up being the thing I do most in Loftia. One of the biggest concerns that I've seen people have with this type of content, and also various things in the open world, is the opportunity for solo play. Lots of people, myself included, love to play through MMO worlds, but to mostly stick to themselves. It is nice to be able to be in a living, breathing world surrounded by other players, but to be able to progress through that world at your own pace. Where a concern that some people have with Loftia is how it has such a major focus on community interaction that people who want to be around other people in an online space but not necessarily constantly interact with people will not enjoy Loftia, and that definitely doesn't seem to be true at all. Of course, there are a lot of stuff that you will want to interact with people for, but on the other hand, there seems to be a ton of content in the game that you can play by yourself. And if this game ends up being like Guild Wars 2 or Palia, I'm sure the community will reach a point at some point where a lot of social interaction that happens in the world will just naturally happen without a ton of community interaction, which is good for those people. But another beautiful idea of an adventures editor is that while these are intended for multiple people, assuming there are no specific restrictions or requirements, you should hopefully be able to create adventures that people can do by themselves. On the most basic level, creating a jumping puzzle should be very easy to do, and those can be completed by a single person, but also depending on the level of customization and what is available, and through some creativity, creating puzzles that only require one person should be very easy to do. Another system that I am super excited for is World Progress. This is basically Loftia's take on the idea of a living world or an ever-growing and evolving world. As the game ages and evolves, the world will too, with different projects spearheaded by different NPCs to achieve a certain goal, fix up a certain area, or build something new. An example we see a lot is the community coming together to create a wind turbine that will help out the main town. A concern a lot of people have with stuff like this is the fear of missing out, or FOMO, that you have to be constantly playing to interact with this stuff, or you will miss out. And that's definitely a difficult concept to tackle when it comes to a game like an MMO that wants the world to be ever-changing, because being able to evolve a world requires that world to evolve. And it seems like Loftia's approach is definitely going to be good to help minimize FOMO, because while these things are cool, it doesn't seem like it will be stuff that will make or break someone's experience in Loftia. It's just adding fun details to the world and expanding the town. And when it comes to creating a new building, that new building is present for all players, and all you will have missed out on is helping out with building it, and maybe any potential limited time rewards. Which limited time rewards is another thing that some players struggle with. People want to feel rewarded with exclusive stuff, but other people want to be able to collect every single thing in the game. It's definitely a hard balance to strike. Over the years, I've struggled with this idea, and in recent years, I essentially don't care too much about getting every single thing in a game like an MMO anymore, because some exclusivity is definitely important, and I will not be able to complete or collect everything. But maybe we will see systems in Loftia that will allow people to. Another system that I'm super interested in is the integration of sustainability. On a foundational level, the game is all about sustainability, and that is one of the reasons I am so excited for this game. I am somebody who cares a lot about sustainability in real life and do a lot to try to lead a sustainable life. I also love the themes of sustainability that we can see in other games, so seeing a game dive deep into this topic and to integrate it into the core gameplay mechanics and world building is a dream come true for me. Where it has been described that there will be opportunities for people to learn about the ideas of sustainability, innovative technologies, and environmental protection in the real world, but within the context of the game, which I think is super cool, and I am super excited to explore these ideas. Beyond all of this, there are definitely a wide variety of different things within the game that I am excited to explore through alongside all of the big things. The ideas of crafting, farming, fishing, and other similar ideas is a big thing in games like Loftia, and is content that a lot of people expect from a game like this. I also love content like this in games, even if it isn't the main thing I ever specifically focus on, but the integration of all the content into the game, plus the combination of all the vibes from each piece of content coming together to create a whole gameplay experience is definitely very important for me. If you look at games like Stardew Valley, for example, it is a sum of all of its parts. If you removed a part of the game, it obviously wouldn't be the same game as it currently is, and the same is true with every game, including Loftia. Every little thing in Loftia is important, even if it isn't something you are particularly excited for, because every single little thing is what will make Loftia the game that it is. It also seems like Loftia is going to have a ton of NPCs in the game with unique personalities that serve different purposes, and I am super excited to get to know each and every one of them. There's also going to be a bunch of pets that you can befriend, lots of character customization options, and some other stuff as well that I am excited to explore. I am genuinely excited for this game, and I really hope lots of other people are as well. There's so much stuff about this game that seems so cool, and I think there are a ton of opportunities for this game to be very successful, especially within the cozy gaming community. And I really hope we see a ton of well thought out, expansive, and fun content in the game that is engaging and also respectful to players' time. I cannot wait to get my hands on the game and to start playing through everything, especially to start interacting with the world, building up my house, and to interact with the adventures. All of which I hope to continue to highlight on my channel, and I hope you all enjoy watching everything and playing alongside me in the vibrant world of Loftia.